Brent. Welcome to the Sterling Heights Public Library. We're going to be playing around with something a little different today. We've been showing you some knife skills up till now. We're going to show you something different today. We're going to show you how to make biscuits. So, real quickly, I'm going to go over some ingredients we've got here. And I'll have a recipe you can actually download on the web too. So we're going to start out with 2 cups of flour. This is all-purpose. Nice level cups. Put those in a mixing bowl. Set that aside for a second. We need a tablespoon of baking powder, not baking soda, baking powder. 1 teaspoon of salt. Fork or a pastry blender will work quite nicely for this. Mix the baking powder and the salt into the flour. To that, we're going to add 1/3 of a cup of shortening. So if you don't have a pastry blender, you can use a fork. I'm going to use a pastry blender because it's a little quicker. We're going to cut that into the flour until it's got kind of a texture like coarse cornmeal. It's going to take a few moments, but not anything major. Don't want a lot of big lumps in here. This is not pie crust. Okay. Once you got your shortening, cut it into your flour mixture. We're going to take 3/4 of a cup of milk. Pour that into a well in the center. You want to leave just a little bit in the bottom of the cup. And I'll tell you why a little further down here. Maybe about a teaspoon left over in the cup is about all you really need. And then just mix that in there until it starts to come together nice. You don't want to overwork this dough, but you do need for it to come together into a nice uniform mass. Once we've got that there, go ahead and just over my hands a little bit to get it into one nice clump. You don't want to sit here and knead this like bread dough for an extended period of time. You're not trying to make a tough, chewy texture. This stuff should pretty much just come right off your hands without too much trouble. Okay, so got a nice uniform ball here. Just get the last little bit of that out of there. Put it in there. Set this aside. Oh, one thing I didn't mention. First thing to do, preheat your oven. You got to get that going first. You're going to need about 425 degrees. Get that nice and hot. Let it go for probably a good 10-15 minutes before you get going. So, take a little bit of flour on the counter here, just to keep this from sticking. Rolling pin. Roll that out probably about 1/2 inch thick. This is a biscuit cutter. If you don't have one of these, you can use an empty soup can or the rim of a water glass. I have a biscuit cutter, so I'm going to use it. those out, set it on a clean baking sheet. Form them a little bit if you need to. Now with this size cutter, I'm going to expect to get probably about 10 biscuits out of this. That was a little small. I'll deal with that in a second. Okay, that was a little undersized. We'll just form it up a little bit, it'll be fine. So, take your scraps, push them back together, pull them out into a little bit smaller. There, and your last one is always going to come out a little oddly shaped, but you should fit into your cutter pretty well. And just set that on your pan here. Okay, so get a little of that out of the way there. Now, okay, so we got 9 here. That's about right. Okay, so remember that little bit of extra milk there? Use it to wet the tips of your fingers. And just lightly go over the tops of your biscuits. You're just kind of getting a little bit of a smooth sheen on these. It gives you a little bit of color and crisps up the top. Trick from a very, very good baker who has taught me quite a lot over the years. There, so that's pretty much used up. So we've got a little bit of, now you don't need to grease your pan or anything. So when your oven's nice and hot, 425, these go in the oven for about 10 to 12 minutes. Might take a little bit longer. Go ahead and set your timer. When they come out, this is about what they're going to look like. You're going to want a little bit of browning on them. You don't want them real dark, but they'll puff up. Pop these things open like this here. A lot of different ways you can use these. One of my favorites is with a little butter and honey. Also goes really well with chili, stew, chicken and gravy. So a million things you can do with biscuits. Again, I will have the recipe on the website when you see this. Good luck, enjoy.